Lionel Nelson here, and welcome to A Father's Note, promoting fathers through building men.
We live in a time when society promotes sex, and more sex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At the time when you all consummated your marriage, both of you were virgins, okay?
Yeah.
Which is completely, my wife had told me that my mother said to her that is completely unheard of in today's day. They did that kind of stuff when she was a young lady growing up in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. But here it is, you all did it in the 21st century. How were you able to sustain yourself until after your marriage vows? Because now, in case people don't know, for those of you who don't know, basically at a time you were staying here, I opened up my doors to you, Mr. Desmond, right here in the very same house with your now wife.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that people had questions. Those who knew that both of you were living under the same roof
all the time
would have some questions as to, number one, hey, what is Mr. Nelson and Mrs. Nelson doing, and how's that? I know they got to be doing something, but what did you do to sustain? Because, well, I could go on by that, but answer the question, because I wanted you all to get into this.
Man, oh man. What did we do to sustain? First, well, for me, I try to be busy as possible, because she was like super fun, bro. I'm just saying, like, do not be in the house all day with her. But we had that respect and fear of God though, and we always wanted to keep it holy. Even when like things would come up, like you slip up, we ain't never like have intercourse or whatever. But like when you feel that burning desire and you wanna go to the next level and you wanna do that, you gotta reel it in, like, because one of us would be weak at one time, she'll be weak the next time. But you have to go back to God when you do slip, and when you do stuff that you didn't even want to do, but you got to go back to God and you got to repent and really truthfully mean that. And being as a just coming from a man side, it was very hard for me, because towards the latter, like in the first, second, third year, I ain't really we hardly kissed. Yeah, that's what we hardly kissed in the beginning of our thing. And I used to be like mad, but I respect, I knew she was different, so I had to respect it, although I wanted it so bad, I was like, okay, I'll hold back, whatever. Then like the 5th, 6th year came, I'm like, oh man, this first, second year, I can abstain or whatever, but 5th, 6th year, I was like ready to go all in. But I was more so keeping that bigger picture in mind, and respecting the boundaries, that God set. You gotta wait till it's the appropriate time. And I'm so thankful and grateful that we waited. And I'm thankful for God and the people around us. The people around us that kept us motivated and would give us, I wasn't the one that would try to hide. Like, if I felt sexually tempted, I know those are feelings that you're going to have. And I feel like my church, the church that I go to, we're so open. So I wasn't scared if I was like, hey, well, I really want to try to get something going on with the wife today. I could go to somebody. I mean, she wasn't my wife at the time, but I could go to somebody and talk to them and be open to them and tell them like the feelings that I'm having. And then the community or the people in the church would tell me what I can do, to overcome that. Maybe I need to go draw. Maybe I need to go fishing more. Maybe at a certain time we can't be together. We can't, you know what I'm saying? So
right.
Those are some of the practical things and spiritual things that we had to do.
Let's get a little deeper though, Des, because you being a young man.
Yeah.
Now, when you You got married when you were 26, 27?
Yeah,
Which one is it?
27.
You was 27 years old. So you're 27. Let's be real. Let's be real about it. You're 27 years old and you're a young man and you've never had sex. You're talking about being a virgin at the age of 27 years old. I know that the brothers had to be riding you about that, man. Man, you ain't like that, man. Come on,
man. Man, everywhere, like, especially people that knew, but some people just start off the top like, oh, he ain't, like, you ain't no virgin. But when, like, we'll speak and they'll be talking, I'd be like, nah, I really ain't have sex. They be like, what, bro? And then my close friends would be like, nah, he really like that with God, bro. He really like that with God. And I'm like, yeah, bro. And people be like, dang, bro, that's so touching. I wish I can. And I'm like, you can. All you got to do is be willing to sacrifice your little thing.
Oh,
you know,
Wow.
Be willing to sacrifice for the bigger picture and the greater cause, man. You know, if you love God, you'll go to an extent. If you love a person, you'll go to the extent to make sure they're satisfied, you know?
So you wasn't, even though you heard the talk, you wasn't listening to the talk because you was looking at the bigger picture.
Right, but I always heard it, you know, especially in high school. I always was like, kind of like, hey, well, you ain't do nothing yet? You ain't do nothing yet? I'm like, nah, bro, that's not my focus, bro. That's not my focus. Like, we different people. Y'all love to party and have fun. Like, but I'm not doing that. Like, not yet. And I don't want to pressure her to do it. Like, let's keep it clean.
Right.
Till the time is. Like, I ain't got time. And then my mom always used to tell me, hey, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't be sleeping around.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And I guess now, and let's make it clear for the listening audience. And there were times that you all were here, and you know, preacher called y'all on the carpet, right?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Let's talk about that, because you know, either Mama Nelson has something to say, and I want to let me say this too, to those who are listening, parents who are listening. My wife and I made it our business to assure our trust in our daughter and our future son-in-law.
Yeah.
And we wanted them to know, listen, we're going to trust you here. And I want to say this too, is that for those of you who don't know, Desmond was not in my house because of Talisha. Desmond was in my house because I was following what God had laid on my heart to do. He was a young man growing up without a father. And while Talisha was away, I allowed him in my house, especially with my sons. He grew up with my son.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be a father figure to him because there were some things that I saw, and I wanted to make sure that I was instilling in him what needed to be instilled in him based on how God was leading me to deal with him. So it wasn't like, you know, open season.
Definitely not.
But Talisha, can you speak to that as far as your mom's and I involvement in your relationship as far as you live in the house? You're living in the house.
I believe that it's God's way, to be really, really honest. I think it's the difference between dating and courtships. Dating is for grown folks who are married, technically, if we want to be honest. I believe that a courtship is overseen, I don't know which way, by your parents, because you already know that you're waiting to be married. It's not like, oh, let's try this out. Let's see if you're the one. Let's see if you're not.
Yeah.
We already know, our parents know that this is what we're pursuing. And now they're going to hold us accountable to honor God in everything. So when y'all might see us a little too close or a little too cuddly, it'll be that thing that kind of keeps you from continuing down the same road. It'll be that blockage, like, wait, y'all need to watch that. And it's just wisdom, little different things that help us to sustain, because prayer helps, yeah. Going to do other things when your mind is trying to stay on sex, yeah, that helps too. And then you also need accountability. Yeah. But you, as like, when it comes to this whole dating versus courtship thing, in a courtship, your parents are all up in your business because it's not y'all's yet. until after, you say I do. And once you get married, that's when it becomes your business. So that's what I would say. That accountability was super important to helping us to sustain. Because it was some days where both of us be hot.
Yeah.
And then it's like, as soon as you get to that place where you like, dang, I want to, here come your parents like, hey, y'all better make sure that y'all keep it wise, keep it clean. Don't be doing this, but do this. And also, I think the accountability was important. And I think that's the difference between a courtship and dating. That your parents, we all got the same vision. They're in the business and they're helping us to honor God along the way.
Another thing I like to speak on, one thing like about that was, we were dating for a long time before we got married. So like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years. So of course the devil will come in your ear and speak like, hey, well, y'all did it more than most people.
Yeah.
Y'all was together longer than listening. Y'all got the right to have sex with each other. It ain't that bad. Y'all fun to get married. But God's like, I want purity. I want holiness until I want it my way. And you can't fall for that trick. Don't fall for it, because that thing was super tempting. Like
we almost there.
Yeah, we almost there. Y'all did it. Y'all lasted long. Y'all was together. You held yourself more than most people.
Yeah.
But that's not the standard. The standard is wait till you get married to have sex.
Wow.
Yeah. So.